Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me in this very detailed and extremely positive video, because today, March 31st, 2026, after weeks of intense fighting, missile attacks, civilian casualties, and skyrocketing oil prices, we finally have some very good news to share with the world. A ceasefire has been achieved between Iran and the United States along with Israel, and the immediate attacks have stopped. President Donald Trump has announced that the United States is halting all offensive operations against Iran, and Iranian officials have also confirmed that they will stop launching missiles and drones in response. This is a major breakthrough after more than a month of dangerous escalation that had the whole world worried about wider war, economic collapse, and even the risk of something much bigger. What makes this moment even more remarkable is the very positive and constructive role played by Pakistan in bringing the two sides together and helping to make this ceasefire possible. Islamabad quietly worked as a trusted mediator, carrying messages, offering neutral ground for talks, and pushing both sides toward de-escalation when many people thought peace was impossible. Today, we are going to talk about how this ceasefire happened, what Pakistan did behind the scenes, why it succeeded, the human and economic cost that has been avoided, and what this means for the future of the region and the world. Let us first understand how serious the situation had become before this ceasefire. For more than a month, the war between Iran and Israel, with heavy American involvement, had been escalating rapidly. Iran launched multiple waves of ballistic missiles, including dangerous cluster warheads that caused civilian deaths and damage in areas near Tel Aviv. Israel and the United States responded with powerful strikes on Iranian nuclear sites, missile factories, energy infrastructure, and leadership targets. The human suffering was real and heartbreaking on both sides. Families lost loved ones, people lived in constant fear with sirens sounding every night, children could not sleep properly, and hospitals were treating increasing numbers of injured civilians and soldiers. At the same time, the fighting made the Strait of Hormuz extremely dangerous for shipping. Tankers avoided the narrow waterway, insurance costs became unaffordable, and many vessels took the long route around Africa, adding weeks to journeys and burning extra fuel. This disruption pushed global oil prices well above $120 per barrel, causing higher gasoline and diesel prices, more expensive food and transportation, and growing inflation that was hurting ordinary families in Pakistan, India, Europe, America, and many other countries. The world was watching with great anxiety, worried that one miscalculation could lead to even wider conflict and much greater destruction. In the middle of this dangerous situation, Pakistan stepped forward in a very quiet, responsible, and effective way. Instead of taking sides or staying silent, Pakistani leaders chose the path of active diplomacy. The government in Islamabad offered itself as a neutral bridge between Washington and Tehran. Pakistani diplomats, including senior officials from the foreign ministry and with support from the military leadership, carried sensitive messages back and forth between the two sides. They helped deliver proposals, explained concerns, and encouraged both Iran and the United States to consider de-escalation and a return to negotiations. Pakistan's unique position made this possible. It shares a long border with Iran, has deep historical and cultural ties with the Iranian people, and at the same time maintains functional working relationships with the United States and important Gulf countries. Because Pakistan was seen as honest and not fully aligned with either side, both Iran and the American side were willing to listen to messages coming through Islamabad. Over the last 10 days, these back-channel efforts intensified. Pakistani officials worked day and night, holding confidential meetings, suggesting compromise language, and gently pushing both sides to agree to an immediate halt in attacks. Many people who were following the situation closely say that without Pakistan's persistent and patient mediation, the ceasefire might not have happened at all. Today, the breakthrough finally came. President Donald Trump announced that the United States was stopping all offensive military operations against Iran. He acknowledged that diplomatic efforts, including those supported by Pakistan, had created space for this decision. Iranian officials also confirmed that they would immediately stop launching missiles and drones toward Israel and American targets. Both sides agreed to an initial ceasefire that is expected to last at least 30 days, giving time for further negotiations on longer-term issues, such as sanctions, security guarantees, and safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz. The announcement brought immediate relief to millions of people. In Israel, families could breathe a little easier knowing that sirens might not sound again tonight. In Iran, people hoped that the strikes would finally stop and that life could begin to return to some normalcy. In the rest of the world, especially in countries that depend on stable oil supplies, there was a collective sigh of relief as markets reacted positively and oil prices started to come down from their recent highs. Pakistan's role in this success deserves special recognition. While big powers were focused on military strength and political statements, Pakistan showed the value of quiet, persistent, and responsible diplomacy. By offering neutral ground, carrying honest messages, and encouraging both sides to think about the human and economic costs of continued fighting, Islamabad helped create the conditions for this ceasefire. Many international observers are now praising Pakistan's efforts as a fine example of middle power diplomacy, showing that countries that are not superpowers can still play a meaningful and positive role in reducing tensions and protecting global stability. For Pakistan itself, this success strengthens its image as a responsible nation that works for peace even when it is difficult. It also protects Pakistan's own interests because any wider war or prolonged disruption in Gulf oil supplies would have hurt the Pakistani economy through higher fuel and electricity prices. Of course, this ceasefire is only the first step. Many difficult issues still remain, including the future of Iran's nuclear program, security guarantees for Israel, sanctions relief, and ensuring safe commercial shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. Both sides will need to show patience and goodwill in the coming weeks if this initial ceasefire is to turn into a lasting peace. But for tonight, after weeks of fear and uncertainty, the news of a ceasefire brings real hope. Families in Israel and Iran can sleep a little better. Oil prices are expected to ease, which will help reduce pressure on economies around the world. And the world has seen that even in the darkest moments, diplomacy and responsible mediation can still make a difference. Friends, this has been a very long and detailed look at how the ceasefire between Iran and the United States, along with Israel, was finally achieved. The heavy human and economic cost that had built up during the war, the very positive and constructive role played by Pakistan in making this possible, and what this breakthrough means for the future. After more than a month of dangerous escalation, tonight we have reason to feel hopeful. I will continue to follow the situation closely and bring you honest updates as the ceasefire process moves forward and as negotiations begin on longer-term issues. If this video brought you some good news and helped you understand how this ceasefire happened, please hit the like button, share it with friends and family, and subscribe with notifications turned on so you stay informed about important developments. Thank you so much for watching until the end. Stay safe, stay hopeful, and let us all pray that this ceasefire holds and leads to a more stable and peaceful future for the region and the world. I will see you again very soon in the next video.